Hey everybody, how's it going? Yeah, so hey BX-Ray, yeah, I did suggest that gold may pull back. Guess what? Sometimes I get things right. Morning Valerie, yeah, going live a little early. Um, Trying to get this done a little bit earlier so that I can pay more attention to my one single day trade that I do for opening bell alerts. And yeah, so anyway. All right, let's jump into it, shall we? Welcome everybody. I want to thank all the new subscribers. Like I had almost 100 new subscribers yesterday. I don't know where everybody came from, but I thank you for hitting the button. And if you want to chat with me, make sure you're a subscriber. And we have the chat. You can interact with me live during this show and every show. Plus, while you're at it, hit the bell with the notifications. That way you get notified every time I go live, every morning, and talk about the morning movers. And on Tuesdays in the afternoons, usually 5 p.m., I do 30 minutes of your requests, at least 30 minutes. Sometimes I go long. I try to get everybody I can. As I get bigger, I don't know if I'll be able to do everybody, but I will try. Anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may be full of crap, just like all the people on TV, Mr. Kramer, other personalities out there. Anyway, this presentation here, informational, educational, and fun, I hope. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument or anything else. Like, you don't have to buy things. So if you desire personal financial advice, you got to hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary responsibility to take care of you and give you good advice. I do not. So remember, I may be full of crap. Anyway, that's my humble disclaimer. Anyway, calendar, pretty devoid of economic news. If you're unfamiliar, you can go to forexfactory.com, click on the calendar button right up here, and get a calendar of worldwide economic news that comes out every single day. So we're on Wednesday here. I haven't refreshed this, and it's being goofy for some reason. There we go. We're on Wednesday. Right here at 10:30 is the next bit of information coming out. We already passed the 8:30 hour, and crude oil inventory is coming out. So crude will probably start popping or dropping when the inventory number comes out. Hey, we're right back on the roadmap line as I went through yesterday evening. That can take us higher. It can take us lower. We could break down. It could have been a false breakout on that little pop a couple days ago. So we do have some FOMC members speaking this evening. And then tomorrow we have unemployment claims, Philly Fed, and existing home sales at 10. Natural gas storage. We've got the wild card Yellen doing a speaking event tomorrow. It's a tentative. We'll have to see what time. And then we have Waller and Bauman speaking tomorrow. So the DC clown show is probably what's going to move the market tomorrow. All right, let's jump into some actual stuff here. Talk about what's happening. S&P 500 trying its darndest to break out through this resistance we built up in January, February. I've been outlining for a few days the two paths. One, we're either going to pop right up here to 4,300, and if we blow on through and head straight up to 4,500, that is bearish. I hate to say it, but if we just blast right on up to 4,500 without really slowing down, that's bearish. We can roll over and go lower low than we saw in October. I feel like this is important for everybody to know until such time as we invalidate that probability. Now, if we just bounce right up here to 4,300, pull back, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That works. We can pull back and then go higher. Now, the other scenario right now we're looking at is we could pull back right back to 4,000 from where we are. One more pullback, and then that sets us up for a potential rally up to 4,300 if we hold that 4,000 area. If we start breaking down, we go lower low than we saw back here in March. Keep coming back for more. I'll update you along the way if we start breaking down support. So that can turn bearish from where we are, but right now, all indications are for moving higher right now. We've broken out through the downtrend that was 2022. We have retested the trend line and bounced higher. We have not yet broken out higher than the initial breakout that ran out of steam in February. So keep coming back. I'll keep you abreast. But right now, we're still locked in that uptrend. Now, popping on over to the morning movers. I got a few alerts coming on. And grab the the morning monster movers. You know, Monster Energy drink. Got a peach today. Yeah. So there was the S&P on the simple chart. This is the more complex candle chart. We're stuck in this little orange consolidation that we had from February. Breaking out is, of course, bullish to go retest for the high from August. Breaking down back to the roadmap line, completely normal and acceptable from this point. We did go way below the roadmap line on the last one, so if we came down, bounced off the roadmap line, beautiful, set up to go up to 4,300. Now, I did kind of play a long ES yesterday, kind of front-running a potential breakout. Yesterday, we filled out this little triangle thing. You know, I mentioned we'd probably get one little triangle, and we filled it out. Now, today's the breakout or breakdown. Do we break down below the range we've been in for a couple days? Probably coming back down to the roadmap line on the daily. ES is the S&P 500 futures. If you didn't know, they trade 23.5. So use the futures to kind of keep track of this. All right. How can Bud be going up? Because people were selling the crap out of it. So we can look at that in just a minute. But there's the, you know, as goes ES, as goes the market. This is kind of the pulse of the main market. You know, some people say Dow. I think Dow is so just manipulated, and the correction factors for the constituents is just, it just makes it just out there in left field. It doesn't represent anything in my mind. So ES is actually closer to the pulse of the real market. NQ is the pulse of big tech, and rolling back, probably going to, you know, based on this, it's probably going to retest the bottom one more time right down here. Potentially could roll down to the roadmap line. If you want the roadmap line, you're interested in it, there's a link in the description. There's also a YouTube video from back in December, I think it was, maybe New Year's. Small caps right here, Russell 2000. So just to roll through, because I get people every day, it seems like they want to know. ETF for ES is SPY, SPX. You know, SPX is the index, SPY is the ETF. NASDAQ NDX is the index, QQQ is the ETF. Then Russell, you know, this one, RTY is the index, and IWM is the ETF for this one. This one outperformed on the pullback and just kind of consulting right down here below resistance. I would love to see this one break out. This one has a gap down potential for today and may fill back up to the upside. We'll see. Watching that one after I get off of here. DXY still consolidating down at the lows. Looks like it's going to push down to this 90s target down here. Looking forward to push on down. Netflix reporting earnings. Looks like we're back down. May go retest the roadmap line. That would be a classic pattern, as I was talking about on 30 Minutes of Awesome last night. We did get a big spike down on the overnight action, the reaction. Got a large spike down to this 295 area, popped right back up, and we're just kind of parked here last night, kind of drifting lower with the market a little bit this morning, pre-market. So the reaction seems to be a nothing burger on Netflix. You can see they beat on the top, missed on the bottom just barely. I mean, that was almost perfect, almost hitting the numbers on the nose, really. So may see a little retrace. Now, this morning could be the retrace if we hold. Let me run a little fib line here. We hold this area right in here at, right near the roadmap line between the 50 and 618 retrace. 50 and 61.8% retrace. We hold that area and bounce higher. That can take this thing right up to 400, possibly 436 in the short term, and we have a gap fill up here at 500. It's highly likely to go get filled in the not so distant future. I mean, it may be out to the summer, maybe out to the fall before we get up there, but it's on a path. All right, Tesla reporting earnings today. This one has the potential to be a big mover. Now, I am slightly bearish bias on this one. Slightly bearish bias. Looking for probably that same sort of setup, that measured bounce type setup. That's a thing I teach in the fib class. If you're interested, you can leave me a comment or something. I'll shoot you the link for that. But this is a power move setup. If we retrace down to the 618 level, 145, even the 159 area, that is a power setup to go higher. But we have to hold support there and turn back up. That could lead to a breakout of the downtrend that we've had for a good long time. You know, this one has had a downtrend since back here in November of 21. Down, 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 lower highs, lower highs. We break out there, and it can set us up to go to 500. That is the, rewind before the split. Rewind before the last split. I was looking for 1,500 on a breakout, which we never got. We did the split, and then we dropped out as Musk bought Twitter. Now trying to recover, and 500 could be in the cards if we can break out of this downtrend. So, all right, ways to play it. TSLL would be the leveraged long, 1.5 shares. If you're maybe not well off enough to be buying shares of Tesla or calls on Tesla, you could play TSLL. It is a 1.5 leverage. I do urge caution. It may not have the same performance as the underlying Tesla. And then if you're short, you're looking for that drop on down to 145, 150 area, you could go long in TSLS. This one is not leveraged. It is a 1x, just 1 for 1. That is on a percent basis. So if Tesla moves 1%, this will move 1%. And it's smaller dollar value. So keep it in mind. If Tesla moves $30, this one's going to not move $30. $30 is, I can't do that percentage in my mind this morning. Sorry. Like 12%. So this will move like $3 maybe. All right. Hey, Kimberly's here. David, good to see you. Pat, Mark, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Now, just a reminder, if you want to chat with us, make sure you're subscribed, and then you can come chat. I will take a look at whatever somebody asks. We can go check out Bud now that I've got my headline information covered. So Bud, that was a nice little pullback, and this is a big uptrend. So news doesn't really matter. Remember, despite their political ad campaign, whatever, it seems that the news says that management didn't know anything about it. So if we look at it on a pullback basis, this little pullback wasn't even as big as these two prior pullbacks right over here. We can just extend on higher. Extensions out to 67, 69. This thing can recover the $6 billion it lost very quickly. They have like 400 brands going. I think is the over 400, I think is what the Wikipedia article says. So a lot of people that switched off of Budweiser just switched to another brand. If you switched off of Bud Light and went to some other brand, it's highly likely you went to another Bud brand. So ultimately, you're not going to hurt the company unless you did your homework. So not really a huge market mover pre-market for Bud, 1%. So it didn't really even make my list this morning compared to some other stuff that I found moving today. Ethereum getting hit. The Shanghai update. There were like 20,000 people wanted to put in orders to unstake, and then a number more, that was completely unstake, and then like a larger number, I want to say upwards of 60,000 put in a partial unstake on the Shanghai update that went through last week. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, all the Ethereum 2.0, when we went to proof of stake, you couldn't unstake the stake. Now with the new update, you can unstake the stake, and it created a huge queue. They were estimating it was going to take 2 weeks to work through the queue. Well, now we're seeing the first bit of the queue hitting the market, and people are liquidating. People want to get out. This has more downside to go. Be careful. If you're long Ethereum right now, we are likely to retrace that same measured bounce setup I talked about twice already for Tesla and Netflix. Could happen in Ethereum. That sets it up for a power move after we get through this correction. Now this could last 2 or 3 weeks as people get their stake unstaked and move it to exchanges for liquidation. All right. Just be cautious. This can occur. This can take Bitcoin down with it. As we are seeing overnight, we're seeing some selling pressure, but it's really just chopping in the range. We're likely to keep chopping in the range unless we do a big pullback. A big pullback can lead to a big upside on Bitcoin, just like it would on Ethereum. We're either going to chop in a tight range like we did for the 2 weeks right here and then push higher. We could chop in a range here, push higher. That's kind of like the box and step method. That's a long-term theory in the market. I can't remember the guy, Darvis, I think it is. Trade in the box, then move. Trade in the box, then move. Could do that, or if we get a big pullback, we recharge quickly, and then we can make a big move the other way. So that's kind of the two alternatives we have for Bitcoin right now. Hey, Goose, good morning. Suckbeer, Stefan, Harry, morning. I covered tomorrow last night pretty in-depth. You can go watch the video last night. We didn't really change much. Lunar, get a nice little pop up to the roadmap line overnight. Potential mover today if we can break out. But we do have resistance right there from those highs where we rejected 3 days in a row. Not sure. It could come back up and retest that, but not looking the most bullish there, honestly. Wall, Western Alliance, came up and just kind of been parking, getting a little bit of pop here. Probably going to go back up and retest the roadmap line where it broke down back here in March. So it'll be a lower level when it gets up there, probably around 59 to 60. WINT, I'm looking for stuff moving. So if your stuff you're throwing out's not moving, please reevaluate. All right. Pre-market movers, I'm looking for stuff that's moving, 6%, 5%. So WINT, Wintry, therapeutics, biotech, these things tend to move on news that is hard to predict. My little methods of predicting how they're going to move doesn't always work because the biotech space tends to surprise with approvals and stuff like that. Now, MS showing up with a big hit. Ouch. Right back down. Rejection off the roadmap line. This one can push lower. Be careful. Lower low might look something like wrong fib tool. Click the wrong one. Got a whole lot of fib lines on the upside. Remove a few of these. So an extension down could look something like 79, possibly 76 for Morgan Stanley. Somewhere right down here. If we don't hold on to this area where we would have a potential measured bounce type setup around 85. So we get below this kind of like 85 zone right in here, probably extending down. Now if we are able to hold that area right here and start popping back up through that prior high, then we can look for extensions higher. BBIO, nice 5% move. And another pharma. Again, this one a little tough. And with that lower high, it looks like it's going to come down further. I have to use this fib tool. Probably something around here more than likely. A little bit lower low, ultimately. If not, extending down to here. So despite the little pop, pre-market, we could roll on down on biopharma if it follows my normal patterns. And that was kind of be a gap fill too. Funny enough. May go right down to that level. All right, USB. US Bank Corp. Just kind of churning right here. The pre-market gains evaporated on that one. DKNG hit the resistance, may pull back, may go right back down to the roadmap line. That would be normal. It's found resistance there. Oh, the market's open. There we go. Now, if it can get above these highs right here, that's bullish. ATNM, another biotech. I'm just going to skip that. Little bitty pop on short semiconductors, but that's just consolidating this area. We can push lower, and the pattern shows that we're probably headed lower, which would be SOXL, would mean it's going higher potentially. Above 1850 would be an entry. Conservative target 27, aggressive target 33. All right. I got a list I'm trying to work through here. Hold on. FNGD. Nice little pop. That's leveraged inverse ETN. Just consolidating at the bottom, just chopping around. So 4% move. Dust showing a little hit here on the bear gold. And that's GC1, exclamation point. Right there, I do expect gold to continue on down this path here. Probably getting an echo of this pullback it did back in February. All right. CDW, ouch, giant hit. Looks like a Bank of America downgrade to neutral from buy. Computers are not moving right now. If you're not aware, HP, Dell, Asus, even Apple reporting massive reductions in the number of computers they're selling. We're seeing 40, 50, 60% less computers being moved in Q1 2023. That may cause Apple to drop too when they report earnings. So just keep it in mind. We haven't retraced to the roadmap line in a little bit. So we could see that drop right back before the next push out on Apple. And this could hold this level right here where we broke out from. Could come back. The roadmap line could come up, test us right, meet us in the middle here, and then we could go higher. Probably headed up to 199 ultimately, but that doesn't mean we won't see a retrace first. All right, pick up a few things and see if they're moving. BX, not really moving. So BAC, we already, not really moving, 1%. Mara, probably getting a pullback, down 4%. That's crypto for you. WFC, not moving. C, not moving. BBIO, nice little pop on there, but lower high, cautious. This is a biopharma. My prediction is for it to go down and fill that gap. And that was on the list earlier. So, all right, STNG, not moving. TNK, not moving really. So, all right. I think that picked up everybody's requests. I'm sorry to brush over stuff, but I'm looking for what's moving today, not just going through stuff. Tuesdays in the evenings are when you do requests, and I was looking for stuff moving. So, movers for the day. Now, bias for the day. S5FI creeping up on the 80%. We can see a reversal off of that. My bias for today seems like we're breaking down today. Want to see these lows hold. Otherwise, more bearishness if we start breaking below the low from, what was that, Friday. Yeah, Friday was the big candle day. We break below those lows on Friday on ES and S&P 500 SPX. We are likely headed at least back down here where we broke out from this consolidation. So below that level, right down here, 4,000 would be the support level there. If we can break out above these highs, we're going to 4,300 now. All right. That's the path for the day. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're got the alerts with the thing turned on so you you know when I go live tomorrow to talk about Tesla earnings and what the reaction is. So come back, see me. We'll continue the conversation in Discord the rest of the day. So links in the description for that if you want to come join us in Discord. Stay safe out there. The account you save may be your own. Be careful, and I'll see you again tomorrow.